Okay, I would like to share the EBLI family tree and how we all managed to fall into the same place together. Back in 1999, I opened Ounce Prevention Reading Center. So that very first year, in one of my first trainings, Shannon, who has been here since 1999, came to that training. And it was at Baker College, I remember. And so at the end, I was asking them all what they wanted to do. I asked Shannon what she planned to do with her training, and she said, I'm going to work for you. That's what I'd like to do. I want to work for you. So she was actually my second employee ever in the first year that I opened. So she has been here. She used to go off and head to Alaska in the summers and do, salmon. She would go salmon fishing in the summer, and so she'd be gone for several months, and she'd be kind of living out on this island and hauling in the fish and all that, and then she'd come back and she'd work again. So, and she left one time for a couple of years, but she has been quite consistent and has been here for a long time. And then the next person that is still here now to come on was Cricket, and Cricket and I have been friends since first grade. Cathy Austin cut off my pigtails, and I came into first grade looking like a boy, and she was very sweet to me then, and we have been dear friends ever since. And so she was in my very first EBLI training before I even opened Ounce Prevention Reading Center. It was April before that, June. And she was a paraprofessional at a school, and she also had a daughter that struggled with reading, and I told her, you should come to my training, and we want your daughter to read too, for sure. But also she was supposed to be teaching reading in the schools, and they hadn't given her anything to teach. So she got a grant and came to my very first ever training and continued to work in the school. And then about 2005, she came here to start to work for EBLI. She started seeing clients. First she started doing it part-time, and then she quit her job and came here and has been here ever since. And then Lucinda brought Quentin, her oldest son, who's now in his 20s, to the reading center, and I worked with him. And then she brought her son Blake, and Blake, very sweet young man, all of them are. She's got 3 boys. And Blake, on his very last session with me, he said to me, so maybe, we could do lunch sometime. He asked me on a date. And we actually did do lunch. Actually, I think I did lunch with Cody, as a matter of fact. But anyway, so I knew Lucinda, and then when we moved to our new place in 2005, she brought Cody, and Cody is the student that I learned the very most, the client I've learned the most ever about what I know about cognitive processing, what I know, really about moving beyond the basics of teaching reading. So he has been a great teacher for me in helping my learning. So after Cody came to us, Lucinda's boss that she was working for retired, and she came and started being our queen here as far as running and organizing and getting stuff going. And then next was Hannah. Now Hannah has been around for quite some time because she's my daughter. So she has been here from the very beginning, but she was only 12 at the very beginning of all of this. And one of my favorite stories about her is when she argued with one of our neighbors, when she was, I think 12 or 13 years old, about her son that was dyslexic, and she had quite an hour-long discussion about why this child didn't really have a problem and could learn to read and what needed to happen. So she has been inundated in EBLI from a young age. So Hannah came in 2011. She called one day and said, I think I'm supposed to be doing this work. And she'd been volunteering, teaching EBLI too. So she has been here and saving her life and running the place for 4 years now, which is pretty exciting. And after Hannah came my niece Molly. She is my sister Joe's youngest daughter, and Molly actually happened to be my first ever ACT prep student. She called one day. She wanted to go to Grand Valley, and she needed another point to get into the honors program. She had a 25 and needed a 26. So she called me the week before she was retaking the ACT and said, Aunt Nora, does this stuff you do help with the ACT? And I'm like, I don't know. Why don't you come and we'll try it. So I worked with her for 2 hours, and she went from a 25 to a 28. So not only did she get in the honors program, she got a whole lot more money. And I still tell my sister that she owes me for that. Many years later, Molly came on, and she does all of our accounting. So that's kind of a fun connection. And then next came Peter. Now, Colleen is my middle daughter, and Peter and Colleen were friends since elementary school. And a few years back, I don't know, about 2 or 3 years ago. The Detroit, Channel 7 in Detroit did a Detroit 2020 news piece about EBLI. It's desperation. You know, any parent understands that if their child is a struggler. And, you know, 15 years later I could cry about it because it's just, you know, it's still like, well, but, so you just want to help them. And it took me 3 hours to teach her. 3 hours she was reading chapter books. And Colleen had shared it on her Facebook page, and Peter had seen it. And so he Facebooked Colleen and said, hey, I'd be interested in working with your mom. It sounds really cool what she's doing. And so she gave him my email, and he emailed me, and I said, well, I don't need anybody now, but I'll keep you in mind. And about a year later, he emailed me again, and I actually was in a transition phase where I did need somebody to help with technology and all of his amazing gifts that he has. So he came on with us in 2013. And so he has been here since then. And then we have Shanna. Now, Shanna and Hannah, we have Shannon and Hannah and Shanna, which can be confusing, but Shanna and Hannah have been friends since 6th grade. And when we needed some more help, she was in a place where she had some time to be able to come on and work for us. So she's been here also since 2014. And so that is our great, big, happy, interestingly connected EBLI family. And it's quite a crew. And we quite love each other. The end.